lot of times for people who don't have enough money to move out of their area,
Right.
because it's really sad because and I'm not knocking people for their hustle because you just do what you got to do, but a lot of times like drug dealers know if a person been gone for a month or two and they gone to rehab, and they will find them once they leave because it's like, hey Val, like you know what I'm saying, you want to like hit you, whatever they say. And it's like, now you know this person might have went to rehab. They trying to do better. Like go on
Yeah,
to
because they
somebody
don't
else,
care.
but they don't care. But that's another thing.
Friends
But
too.
friends too,
Friends
yeah,
too. If
and
you used to
yeah,
hanging around
yeah,
people who doing that drug of
yeah.
choice or that alcohol, you can't be
So we
around
would
them.
try to tell
You
people,
cannot be around. You
yeah.
gotta.
Do you have a person that one? Do you have somebody close that you could live with in a different area? Because sometimes it's just a matter of that's my favorite liquor store I used to go to, and it's down the street from my apartment, and it's like, man, you know, we used to try to get people housing once they left rehab in a different location because those are triggers. The corner store,
Nah,
like where your
easily.
friends.
You could be listening to a song on your way
Yeah,
to,
man, that's my
and
song.
man, I remember when I was
And that's
something,
it. That's all you need.
and that's all you need,
Yeah.
you know. So, but you gotta have the want. You gotta have the want and the desire to
Mm-hmm.
really do better. Then the more you start practicing it and getting it, you'll start having you'll start having a sense of you value life. So then you'll start trying to find. You have to find outlets, whether it's going working out at the
Yeah.
gym or like she does arts and crafts outside of education. Like my brother-in-law, he does jujitsu. You can just take a walk in the park. I mean, you could
You
just
have to find an outlet
you
for
have to
that
find
anxiety or
outlets.
depression or whatever you're
You
experiencing.
have to. You have to.
Because usually what happens is people sit and nobody wants to sit in those thoughts.
No.
And that's usually why people continue or relapse. Because what happens with that is if say I just got out of rehab, it's been 2 months, and I have to know.
And that's good. 2 months is real good.
Yeah, but if they've been in rehab the whole time, so that means we've gone to groups every day,
Yeah.
several times a day.
Yeah.
It's structured. You're not in that neighbor. You might be in the neighborhood, but you're closed off.
Yeah.
You don't have phones. It can call. Your friends can call you. So there's not a lot of outside triggers. Well, I got released today, and now all the triggers are hitting me at once. And so even if I've learned through my therapy and group therapy while I was in rehab, it's not enough because you got to keep practicing it every day. And so then it's like, okay, he likes to play basketball. So go play basketball. That's free. You know, you don't have to have money to do certain things. And I tell people all the time, don't look at it like you got to have money. Cause
No. You don't have to.
And I remember this one guy I told you about, this young black guy, and he had young kids. And I told him, I always used to tell people his story, especially people that suffer from alcoholism, because people are looking at me like, do you drink or whatever? And I'm like, no, but I can't relate on the level of I'm an alcoholic trying to get off of alcohol, but I can relate from the fact of my brother, my dad, whoever, like people close to me. I know how it affects them, and it's a different kind of way. So, like if it was their spouse or their kids, I can relate because I've been in those places.
Yeah, right.
And so, he's like, well, if I don't drink, what do I do? And it's like, people really do think that. It's like, I don't know what else to do but to drink. Drinking takes up a lot of my time, or I numb out, pass out.
For sure. I like
out.
the feel. And then, but just stay the course because you'll start realizing that you think a lot clearer and you actually feel better when you get all that poison out of your body. Not just,
clear.
You think way clear. You think better on opioids and the heroin and alcohol, whatever it is that you think, man, I like being in this altered state or whatever. Yeah. You can get in an altered state by, I guess, your brain releases kind of like some kind of hormones or something.
When what?
When you start like putting yourself
like
in different
meditation?
Yeah, some people can meditate and get to an altered state.
Yeah.
I could be out because I like y'all. I can be out mowing the yard, and all of a sudden a sense of just gratitude and appreciation and it triggers something in my brain to where I really like be. I ain't gonna say euphoric, but I'd be like,
your energy is increasing. Like your internal being.
Yeah, it
energy.
goes back to when I was younger. I wasn't doing drugs when I was playing football and stuff
happy.
at high school. I was happy. You had to have a reason when you was younger not to be happy. Seems like when you get older, some people have to find reasons to be happy, and that's what's so crazy about it. Like
reasons to be happy.
I'm just
That's
saying, if
yeah,
you just
that's
go
pretty
and
deep.
not even people that's on drugs, if you just get,
Reasons to be happy.
yeah, like I'm saying,
I mean, that's
if you look
yeah.
back when you was younger,
Hmm.
we was always happy, having fun, and
You
this
didn't know
that.
you didn't know you were
You didn't
lack,
really have a lot of responsibility, also.
and you didn't know you had lack.
No, you
Yeah,
did. You right. Even if you did have it, you didn't really know it.
yeah.
So unless you was around some people who
Hmm.
really had a lot more than you, but I'm just saying, as you get older, and if you just sit down and just slow down, you'll realize like, dog, I'm in the hustle and bustle and the rat race. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to pay mortgage. I'm trying
Hmm.
to keep up with the junk. Whatever it is,
Hmm.
a lot of people walk around and they seem like, I ain't gonna say they're miserable because that'll be judgment. I can't judge nobody's heart, but I just be
They
in a
don't
barber
seem
shop
appear happy, or is
because
that
they're going through the motions of it and a lot of stuff that you really like take for granted. Like it could be just you hanging out with your kids
yeah?
or just taking the time out to do a crossword puzzle with your
So like when
kids
we
or
were
just,
playing, like the other day on 4th of July, we were playing this game
oh
called Heads
man, that
Up.
was so fun.
So right, but what I'm saying is something that we were playing like this Family Feud
It
game
was a
too.
couple of
Yeah,
board games,
yeah.
yeah.
I like board games.
No, they weren't
Yeah,
board games. They
the
was
one Heads Up was kind of
heads
like a
up,
board,
kind of like,
where
yeah.
it's almost like charades, where the person that has like the headband and you act it out.
Yeah,
So
you
yeah,
acting out,
yeah. So it gets people out of their element. So I'm a kid at heart, and a lot of adults are. You don't have to lose that kid spunk. And so we were acting out just silly stuff and just being
Yeah.
real silly with the kids, and you're having a good time. And in that moment, you don't even know that
You know,
there's
yeah,
despair or whatever.
you ain't worried
Yeah,
about your
you're
check
in the
engine light
moment,
on your car,
right?
your electric bill due next
Yeah,
week, or
and laughing,
mortgage coming
yeah,
up. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
laughing releases
yeah,
tension and stress levels, and just laughing, period. That's why laughing, when they say laughing is good for the soul, because
it is.
it
It is.
releases a lot of different chemicals pent up.
Okay, so that's what I was. That's
Sweating releases.
okay. So that's what I was. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I was talking about. Some
yeah.
the little
He still,
hormones or
yeah, he
whatever.
probably lost a lot of brain cells through the years with like
But
alcohol.
but the good
That's
thing about it, I was
okay though.
blessed with more than probably her or whatever.
But
So
I
I'm
was
now
blessed.
now it probably brought me probably down to.
I don't know as much as you at all. Listen, the stories you done told me, listen, that's a whole nother session by itself. You can just do that by yourself.
I know. I remember the stories. That's a good thing. I
Yeah.
remember them. But
Yeah.
like I said though, for people who want to recover, like I'm telling you, like go for it. It'll give you a new sense of self. But you gotta put yourself in environments to where like that you really want to grow and become a better human being. I
But that's
mean,
kind of hard for
it can be
saying
now.
that.
Seriously, starting out now.
If
Seriously,
me and my friends are all addicts and we all sitting in just
you
don't
gotta
know,
you
don't
gotta
have,
find. Okay, I'll
how
tell
you
you
gonna
this.
find it?
You gotta try to find a purpose and why
Mhm.
you want to.
Your why?
Yeah, you gotta have a why. You have to have a why, even if you just want to exist on this plane as a better human being or whatever. You do have to have a why. So my why was okay.
That little spark, that little
Yeah,
last little spark. Your
yeah.
why was
My why was okay. Let's give it a go. I've already had the keys to hell.
what do you mean?
I was in that. That's hell. When you waking up drinking a fifth a day, you wake up in the morning
Did
like
you
I.
feel that way in the thick of it? You felt like it was hell?
Yeah.
No, I mean honest
No,
question.
I'm being real with
You felt like it was
That's
hell.
what I'm saying. Like that couch is sentimental to me. So when I look at that couch, I remember the conversations that I have on at that couch with myself. Like, is this what life is all about? When you literally a person like me wake up and be like, okay, cool, I woke up, but if I didn't cool,
And that's the
that's
so
hell. That's like you're not living now. You just exist, and so
mm,
it's like
so that you slow down on that one. So
okay.
you living,
Oh, without a doubt, living.
not existing.
I don't know. We gonna exist
Before
when
people
you
who
go
don't
out.
suffer from
When
alcoholism or no, like just stop drinking. So that is big because
yeah,
like
so
what
that's
yeah.
yeah, it's humiliating. Like when people just don't drink or you need to give yourself over to the Lord, all that old stuff. Like I mean, give yourself how you give yourself over to the Lord. I don't know how to do that.
Like prayer changes things. Changes
Man,
what?
I pray at night. I've been doing that for 20 years.
So
like
when
this
I
in
wake
your
up-
now it's in your court.
So
like
when I wake up, does that mean that the prayer that I said that I don't want my somebody to come in every night, and I'm just saying just hypothetically, for
Yeah.
people who suffered from sexual abuse, if they prayed every night that this person don't come in their room and bother them,
Ooh.
so my prayer didn't get answered because I woke up in the same house with the same person, gonna torture me, or am I gonna wake up not in the projects, or am I gonna wake up, what I'm saying, with not like shoes, like good soul
Yeah, so that's
shoes?
what I say. They give advice
And I'm
like
not saying
very
that I'm not
bland.
spiritual because I
Right,
am.
I am too, but it's very bland.
It's
For
like,
people like
pray
that,
about it,
that
walk
been done
away.
happen. Like they
Yeah,
been done prayed about
pray about
it.
it and walk away. Like,
Like you got to put forth an action.
so that's where.
It's
What is
always
that?
it always has to be action.
So what is that called? That when we were talking about this, and now
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank. But what that action is like, when people
So
have vision
now
boards,
it's like it's up to you. Like
yeah.
you
Well,
can't blame. I can't blame Valerie. I can't blame
and a
my
lot of
spouse.
people do that. They blame their circumstances.
And your circumstances are gonna always stay the same
if you don't,
when you can point the fingers elsewhere,
And that's
because
what-
it's all within. Because it's your mind is very strong.
your mind is powerful.
So
yeah,
breaking addiction
it's hard. It's a hard.
is you got to
It's
dig
hard.
deep down within, and then that's the kind of like the purpose of okay, let's see how far I
But
can
when you
take
say
it.
dig deep down within, that's the part that people don't want to sit with. Because if I dig deep down within, I'm really gonna find out.
So you're gonna find a lot of stuff about yourself.
And that's why you need to really like get with somebody that you, whether that's a pastor, priest, a therapist. Really a therapist.
I was just gonna say the therapist is probably, but that goes back to the black community. We're
Black people
taught
don't
that that's
join.
some
Don't tell people
taboo,
your business.
and I'm telling you,
Don't tell people what goes on in this house.
you mentally weak if you go and
You don't
search
really
for
need
help.
that. Why would you want to tell a stranger your problems?
And so we shy away from it, which people
Yeah.
from other communities
They've
they
been doing
take
it since they
advantage
was
of that.
young. Yeah,
Yeah, they take advantage
they
of
just go to a
it.
therapist just to work through just regular stuff.
Like I
just
said, I've been in the barbershop, and I know
you
like
a therapist to some people.
yeah, and I know prominent pastors that have told me,
What?
Hey, I go to therapy every Tuesday,
Therapy-
every something.
Therapy is the best thing ever. Everybody,
And they like, oh man,
therapy
listen,
personally, therapy is like the best
do
thing
not,
ever.
do not let anybody tell
And
you.
therapy ain't gonna,
Yeah,
ain't no
just
good.
don't tell them that you're not. You ain't got to tell nobody you going to therapy. Oh man, you
weak,
weak
going
or
to
hey,
therapy.
she crazy. See, all that, like she said, therapy is because you got educated people that are there and they're trained to understand and
So-
help you peel back layers to understand like why you are the way you are. But at the same time, you got to be willing to open up and understand yourself.
Because we're being like, I don't know you from Adam, but when you come to sit down in front of me, a lot of times, and that would be me too. We think that people are going to look at us in a negative way or judge us based on what has happened to us or what we decided to do with our lives, but we don't. And I've met a lot of people, and I had to tell people, and I'll never forget. And me and the patient was okay, but he looked at me in my white coat and was like, "Have you ever done drugs?" And I'm like, "No." And he was like, "Well, how can you you just grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth?" And I was like, "Hold on." I was like, "You've never met me other than right now." And I said, and I was quick to say, "Hey, don't let this white coat fool you."
Right.
And because it does, it's like just because you see me right here and see that I got my life, quote unquote, together, I might be a closet drug addict when I get out of here.
Right.
Like, you just don't know, but don't judge me as if to say I've never experienced.
You can't help me because you
never,
don't understand me.
And so when I would tell people, hence why I would tell people his story a lot of times or related to, I never was, and I had to get out of that because of how he's saying like the black community and not just us. A lot of times,
and
Hispanic
I apologize.
culture.
I don't mean to cut
that's
you off.
true. That's true.
I don't want nobody like I'm knocking us now.
No, but that's a
yeah,
true
but I don't
statement.
want to go there though. Like
No, I know what you're saying, but
Yeah.
that's a part of it, culture-wise. So
Right.
Hispanic culture is very much like African American culture. What happens here stays here. Don't talk about it. Don't tell nobody. And a lot of times, that's why now, since COVID, it came more about mental health came out because we didn't have a choice but to stay inside, and so
Right.
people suffered a lot. And so mental health providers got to see a huge influx of people needing therapy, which is a great thing in itself because it's like you needed it before. Now you're forced to almost do it because I cannot do this, And so a lot of cultures are like that, and not just
Right.
Hispanic culture.
Okay.
Asian cultures are like that too.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just know I'd be looking at ours and I'd be like, we got some
And-
things that you get
But
the old and
we
you're
can
like,
speak
okay.
to. I can speak to some because now, depending on where I worked, you only got to see certain zip codes of people. But when I worked in rehab, where I was did the telemedicine and saw all these different people from say Nevada to Ohio, every Colorado, then you got to see different walks of life, and a lot of times it's like, let's not talk about it. You know it's going on in the background, but you don't want to talk about it, and that's very disheartening because now I got to sit with this, and then it becomes you get an adult and it's
No,
called
it's
shame.
bad. It
It's
ain't.
shame.
Yeah, because I've even known it to where like
It's closeted. Like we know it's going
yeah.
on, but just don't bring about it. Don't talk about it.
I mean, it's been horrible stuff that
And it's
goes on in
horrible.
the family to where the
Yes.
family
They know.
cover it up.
Don't
And
talk
then it
about
does something to the person like, hey, this is like a traumatic.
You're not worthy.
This is a traumatic
It is
incident.
traumatic. It is traumatic.
And then I come along and here we is later on in school and I offer you a blunt. Here we go.
Man, it's
now
gonna
20.
make you feel good.
Man, you straight. Hey, homie, man, you
Man,
cool.
don't take this shot. It's gonna numb you, man. You're gonna be feeling right in a minute.
Because that's actually when I actually started kind of like really trying different things is when Grady got locked up.
So
I mean, I was kind of trying to drink a little bit before then.
But
anyway.
it wasn't like full force.
But when I realized, like, especially when
our oldest brother, so I was
Yeah.
14.
I was 16, 16, somewhere in there. But when I realized that he wasn't getting out, or he
So
wasn't getting out until I was like an older person.
And we didn't know, like our moms, you know, and here's the thing with that too, and I can speak to it because, you know, he's out now and it's been 28 plus years, but when he got locked up, and again, it goes back to if I knew what I knew now, obviously, at 14, would I have told? Yes, I probably would have.
Right.
Because that
right.
might have saved his life and he wouldn't have had to spend 20 and a half years. It might have changed a little bit. Now, he could have still went down that path and still ended up locked up.
Yeah, that joker was ignorant.
But it
that
might not
joker
have.
was ignorant. Listen.
Juice was high.
Yeah.
Juice
That's what I said.
that,
What
yeah.
you watching all that plays a
Yeah.
part too. What you
Yeah.
listen to, what you watch.
Yeah.
Video games wasn't a big deal back then. We still used to
But
go
now
outside.
video games might have
Oh,
saved
psh.
his, some people like
But I'm
it,
just saying, you know, those video games, you know, you get the games, they shooting and fighting and all that.
our
But
mom-
you're right.
my mama made it a point to say, why didn't y'all say something? And I was like, well, because you
I
you don't
mean,
wanna, like,
I
snitch.
said, but there you
don't want to
snitching.
snitch.
Yeah.
But
then
it
in the
goes back to
yeah.
culture. You don't want to snitch. Don't
Yeah.
be telling people stuff.
I used to tell him, man, you tripping, bro.
Because you kind of lived the
So
life too a little bit.
yeah. So
But
I'm
you didn't
talking
tell
to
our mom though. She was mad at us for not telling her.
Yeah. I mean, I get that from a parent's point of
Yeah.
view, but I'm saying as far as like, I would try to console her. Like, ain't nothing you could have said to that joker there.
No, not me personally.
Not
but
you.
To her. To
Nobody.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, you know, he criminal from the beginning. Sorry, big bro. Like, he was
Well, that
type.
means you a criminal too.
Oh, yeah, you too. You know, you grew up in the same house with us, but,
Absolutely not.
yeah, for sure. I mean, you got them degrees.
Do you have any
man.
evidence?
Nah, I ain't got no evidence.
Okay,
You're right.
moving on.
Accusations.
Yeah.
But even when we was younger, you know, mama
Yeah.
would tell him,
He did.
don't eat this, or don't do that, or don't go here, don't go there. As soon as she leave, he'd do exactly opposite of what she said. And I'd be
So
like, bro.
that's probably called now. There's like a. That's probably.
Oh,
called,
we used to be in the store little. He, hey, bro, what
Don't ask for nothing.
Nah, hey, bro, what you want? Oh, we were little. I probably was in the second, third. Hey, bro, what you want? That joker stealing toys and all that. And I used to crack jokes with her.
So
I said, you
yeah.
started off like
Yeah.
petty theft as a little kid, and
So that they call that now, and again, this is going
he'll
back
tell
to
you this is like,
like
I'm not talking
conduct
behind his back.
disorder or opposition
Oh,
to
that's what I'm
defiant
trying to say.
disorder.
Now
Yeah.
you throw it off.
It's like I'm gonna be argumentative. I'm gonna like commit crimes like theft, tear up property. Like those, they had terms for those words, but they didn't know the terms. We didn't know them terms. Like now, it's a whole diagnosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like,
yeah, nah. I mean, yeah, but that is different layers of.
But what you're saying, like to the point of like, in terms of people getting help. So I would tell people all the time, like you might not know, a healthcare professional ever, but you can always. So majority of people have phones, and even people who have government phones. So they can only use phones in Wi-Fi areas like a McDonald's or whatever.
Right.
So I would tell people when you get in those places to like Google search, like free, like free therapy services. And you may not be able to find a free therapy service, but you can find like a free rehab service. Every state has a funded program.
Do exist.
Now you might be on a waiting list, and that's unfortunate too. But that just shows you how prevalent these things are. We just don't have enough room. So we're in Tennessee, and Tennessee does not have like remotely enough beds for people who suffer from mental illness or people who suffer from substance use or drug addiction. It's so prevalent and it's just like astronomical. We just don't have enough. And if we did have enough beds, because there are a lot of places in Tennessee that have beds, we don't have enough workers. And so it's just like a double-edged sword. But every state has a free service. So the people who can spend the money, 40,000. I remember looking for you. There was one place, it was 40,000 a month. And it was like, a month? Like 40. So what do people do? They put up their houses. If you have a family that has the means, they put up their houses. They might get a personal loan. Well, we didn't grow up like that. I didn't have the tools for that. And so he didn't either. So then what do you do then? Because of I knew my work, I knew where to go and what to look for. And I knew that it was a place out there. And they were like, if you can get him here by this time and he can come today, like, oh, okay, he's going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be there.
Yeah. And I was willing. And
but
then,
you have to be willing when you're ready, because it's not going to work if you're not ready.
Yeah, if you're not ready, I mean, you're going to always relapse. I mean, you just going to relapse. The one thing I will say about people that relapse is that they trying.
Yeah,
because it was one time where they checked themselves in and they trying.
Because if somebody relapses and they come to rehab, like right the same day, the next day, within the week, it's like you have learned to recognize the tools that you learned in rehab, and you got to get right back on the train, and that's okay. Like
yeah, I mean, you just try, but you just got to try harder, and you got to. But you just gotta want to, like you gotta want to, and you gotta find some kind of sense of purpose.
So when you got out of rehab like this last time,
and it really was. See, mine wasn't rehab.
So when you, but I'll just say
so we're clear up. So mine was, like I said,
detox.
I just always felt like I was always one of those people that could tap into my strength, my inner whatever. I felt like that. That's why when I was battling alcoholism, it was kind of scary because if, say, like for instance, if I'm watching porno once when I was young or something, I'm tired, man, I can't watch it. That ain't good for my soul. I can cut it off and don't even do it.
Because that wasn't your thing.
No, I mean, I can just cut it off. I mean.
But then there's some people who,
they be on it and they gonna be on it.
That's my alcohol.
Yeah, it's just my addiction. So I was just one I can do it. If I get fat, which I'm a little chubby now, but if I get fat, all right, I'm finna go to the gym and lose some weight. You know, I can do it.
And
whatever I put.
Side note, food addiction has the same mental capacity as drug addiction.
And it's bad too because that causes high cholesterol, diabetes, high blood pressure. I mean, it's just
it's a trickle down effect. It's
we're saying addiction
is addiction,
and I'm like I said, I'm speaking on alcoholism,
but
it's
addiction.
I mean, it's just a lot of addicted to men, addicted to women. Like you gotta have somebody.
Sexual addiction.
I mean, just it's all kind of addictions, but. Like I said, I was always one of those people that could tap in, and if I wanted to do something, I could do it. I mean, if I wanted to do it, I could do it. So,
and some people don't have that
I needed
ability.
to. So I will say this. Now, I think that people can do it. So I'm not gonna make like I'm an exception to the rules, but I will say that it's hard. But what I personally did was, I knew that I drunk so much, and I couldn't just stop it. I can get DTs, like I said, the seizures, the high blood pressure. My sugar was just sky high. I mean, so this place right here monitored.
You went through detox. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it was like detox. Like I made a conscious effort. Like I'm so tired of this, and I do not like that feeling. And I won't. Like, if I wake up cool, if I don't wake up cool, and I got kids,
because that's an everyday. Right, that's just an everyday feeling.
It was bad. So, I mean, it was actually
but
sad.
That's the part. So what that's called is the question he's talking about. Like, what if he didn't wake up, would you be okay without waking up? It's like a yes or no question. So it's a part of our suicide screening. And so that question, everybody says, "Oh, I'm cool." Like if I don't wake up, I'm cool, and that's not a bad thing because everybody says that when they're when you see me and I ask you that, obviously you're here for a reason. So when they said yes, that's just it didn't get.
That's an honest answer.
It didn't get many points on the scale.
Yeah, it's an honest answer.
When you go to the next question is, okay, well, when you felt that way, have you ever had a plan? So when you have a plan to hurt yourself or an intent to hurt yourself, now we're talking about something different.
Right.
So now we're talking about like suicidal ideation.
Right.
So just saying though, if I don't wake up, I'm cool. That's not suicidal ideation. different. It's a part of it, but
Yeah, but
everybody feels
yeah,
that
yeah,
way when
yeah.
they're in the thick of that.
Like, man,
Yeah,
this is not. But
yeah.
you know,
'Cause who
so
wants to feel like
I
that? Yeah.
get that tired of it, and I was like,
You
you
just
know,
tired.
I'm better than this. So
Yeah.
now it's a thing of okay, so let's challenge yourself, Ed, to see what kind of human or spiritual being you can become. So now it's a thing of let me just go to this place and just get my sugar levels down.
Try to clear your mental.
Yeah,
like,
let me
get that alcohol.
because I think that after the first 3 days to a week or something like that, then the DTs you in the clear.
Yeah, so
I think you're in the clear.
Yeah, usually depend. So we base it on when was the last. So this is why they ask you these questions. It's not that we're trying to just get in all your business, but there's a medical reason why we asked you when was the last time you had something to drink, and how much do you drink a day, and how long have you been drinking? Because the last time you had an alcoholic drink is going to be the time that starts the
That's
timer.
the time. You're right.
And it starts the timer of
right.
This is you got to check on this.
You
guy.
got a time frame
Yes.
between this.
So
and if you pass that time frame right there,
Yeah.
you pretty much in the clear.
So this is why if a person who suffers from alcoholism or benzo use or whatever, so this is why they give you Valiums or Ativan, because it's like, well, why would you give an alcoholic like an Ativan or a Valium like every hour or every couple hours? It's because we don't want you to have a seizure. So we need to calm down those brain receptors from firing off, because if we don't, and you mess around and have a seizure, that Or the reason why we give you thiamine, folic acid, those B vitamins is because we don't want you to develop what they call Wernicke-Korsakoff disease or disorder, and that's another neurological disease that can be prevented by giving you a load of B vitamins when you come into rehab. But you can also, if you get that, it could be irreversible. And so
that's tough. And you just finna tell a person just quit drinking.
And that's where, what do you mean quit drinking? Like,
quit drinking. Hold on, no. That's why you gotta.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the real.
Try to quit drinking, but that goes back to like being educated on the science of your body. Like if you drink a lot like that. But anyway, I was just to the point where y'all need to check on me within this time frame right here to see if I'm okay.
But they were gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, but I needed to be in a place instead of just trying to go up in my attic and
you go upstairs in your little man cave room.
I ain't coming down. They go like, where Ed at? Oh, Ed been up there for a week.
You go up and check him. Oh, he's asleep.
That joker, dead or something. Blood pressure high. Yeah. Left side ain't working because I done stroked out. So I needed to go to a place. So like I said, I'm not.
Asked you those questions too.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, I understood.
Have you been sweating, or do you feel like prickly? Have your skin prickly? Sweating.
Listen, I was in there, right?
Nausea, vomiting.
It's a lady sitting beside me. I don't know what she was on, but
you mean a patient?
Yeah, we were in the same place I was in, and she's sitting there shaking. So she put her hands under the table. So I said, it was just a box with your little Subway food and stuff in it. So I was like, hey, excuse me, man. I didn't catch it for some odd reason, but that might be genetics or something.
Everybody's different.
Right. But anyway, I said, hey, you need some help with that? She like, yeah. So I opened up the little box. Well, I'm in her hands, but she opened up the little box for her and got a sandwich. And now it's in a wrap.
Yeah. She's struggling.
So she came. She tried, and it's like her brain and her hands was like.
Yeah. It's about like
I said, hey.
Parkinson's disease.
And then I was like, hey, you want me to open that for you? She just busted out crying and left out. She was so messed up with withdrawals.
It's defeat.
And I recommended her because she was in there trying. All of us in there. All of us was in there.
In that moment, of course, she has more clear mental right now, and she knows. I mean, when you're drinking and all this,
like, man,
but right now,
man, I can't even box. I can't open up no box.
Like,
he take the sandwich out and it's real. I can't even.
So I don't think people understand. Like for me, like I can put myself in that place. Like, how defeated would you feel? I can't open a box.
You know what? It's too hard. I'm finna go on back over yonder, check myself out, and
so
start back getting high.
Sitting with yourself, like in that moment, it's like, yeah, you did this to yourself because nobody forced you to do anything. But in this moment, like, I can't open a freaking box.
This is what this done came to.
Hey, can you drive me to the store real quick?
Hey, man.
Because
hey, come get me.
Because who wants to sit in that? That's a lot of mental pain and stuff.
Like you said, overeating. So now you done let yourself. So say you this size.
So this is what I tell people.
Look, you this size. Yeah. Now you done blew up. Well, only one of you can sit on this couch.
People say, just push push away from the table. Well, when
Okay.
somebody's like overweight,
Okay.
obese, morbid obese, super obese, push away from the table.
Now you going to the gym 2 days in a row and you don't
So
see no
when I-
results, but you're not gonna see
Yeah, or
none.
I get on the scale and it's the same. So this is what I tell people.
So I just imagine
Yeah.
how defeated you feel because you
Oh, they
knowing
feel
that it's a hard. Now it's gonna
I'm
be.
not- yeah.
Oh, this ain't.
I'm not finna go in the gym. Everybody
This-
in the gym is
It's
like,
easy to tap out.
everybody's all cut up, built up, everything's
But that's
in the
how
right
Natty
place.
feel like that fight is
Yes.
so hard.
And so they shy away sometimes from their family because as soon as I walk in with the family members, everybody's gonna be judging me. Oh, here he comes.
Oh man,
He gonna ask me for $20 again.
I
or,
told her.
Or take me to the store.
I mean, you know, I got some good family members, but I mean, you know, you get some that,
They talking about you.
yeah.
They
and-
talk about you regardless, but they.
I mean,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
you.
which is fine. But now I've been sober for what 3 years. Hey, congratulations! I don't hear none of that. So
Because
people,
they don't understand the severity of what
and
really
so people
happens
that
with
burns
that.
people, like you said, though, addicts can burn bridges. Now,
Well, first of all, you're a little bit opinionated, more so than people like to like.
I'm gonna be honest, but I'm gonna say it always out of love. But I'm just saying, like,
So this is why we
nah,
call ourselves the
I-
rejects because we a little bit too opinionated. Not opinionated. Don't listen.
Nah,
if you
I
ask me a
ain't gonna say
question-
opinionated.
No, it is opinionated. You always trying to just like just.
I mean, I'm gonna be the type of person that if
When
you
you
don't
ask me a
ask me, I probably
question,
ain't gonna tell you,
I'm
like,
not
because
gonna
I
tell
don't. I'm not gonna get in your business. So the opinionated is one of the people. They always got something to say or trying to side somebody, but got an opinion. Me and you, the type that if you ask us our opinion,
Well, then you want my honest answer.
do you really want my honest answer?
Because
if
I'm
you,
not gonna fluff it up for you.
I'm not. So I won't say opinionated. We just honest. Because opinionated,
You
like I said,
asking
me
me
and you,
about honest
Valerie,
opinion.
man, it's hard to get in touch with you. You ain't around people enough to be opinionated. Opinionated is one of the people when they see you coming like, oh Lord, what he got to say.
Yeah.
You just one of those people that you gonna be honest if they ask you a question. That's why I like, because I would rather ask somebody like you because
so
you
just
gonna
because
be.
I'm your sibling don't mean I'm gonna fluff it up. I think if I'm your
Why
friend,
would
a
you-
true friend,
You
I'm
better
gonna tell
not.
you the truth.
You
if
better
you're
not.
asking me, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Because I want you to tell me. I really
If
do
I'm
want you
asking
to tell
you,
me the truth.
If I'm
Don't
asking
lie
you,
to me. Look. If you
if
say
I'm
that,
asking you,
that
you
means I
need-
wanna know.
That means that I value what you say.
Yeah.
Even if it's a challenging situation for
because
me,
you've done that to me.
I'm gonna value what you say though.
don't
I
have
mean, I ain't even gotta agree with you, but I at least know that you telling me what I want to hear. Ain't no reason to talk to you.
Yeah. So just
I don't
like,
need you to puff my ego up at
Yeah,
all.
so
like,
our mom is. This is how we were because this is how she is, and so some people can't handle honesty. So we having a big discussion, and everybody's giving their own opinion, blah blah blah, and we say ours, and it sounds a little bit
challenging.
like you hit below the belt edge, like and
I
I'm like,
apologize.
no, you don't. You don't apologize.
I apologize.
Okay, well we're
No,
talking about a discussion.
my apology is I'm gonna leave it alone. all right. I'm gonna leave. Hey man,
But
you going a little
it's
bit
like-
too hard. You going a little bit too
Am I?
hard. Okay, I'll leave it alone.
But it's
then.
okay for you to say what you want to me. So it's really hard for people, and that's why a lot of times people who suffer with addiction, they don't come around family. A lot of times they remove themselves because like they're
Yeah.
so judgy, and can none of us. So when I told somebody, family members, so I don't know why y'all talking about somebody like me being a little bit overweight at the time because all y'all overweight. So let's just be honest.
Oh, man.
So I know that I'm
Man,
overweight.
get
So
what- get
if
what-
I weigh a
get-
little bit more than I should, so wait a minute.
Get what Valerie just said, man. Valerie was
So they're
talking
like, well, all you
crazy.
gotta do is this. Really, all you gotta do? Well, you ain't keeping your own advice. So,
Oh yeah, we got personal trainers.
we got nutritionists.
We got
personal
nutrition, personal
therapists.
trainer. And all I want to be is like, give me an example.
So this is a pet
Just
peeve.
give me an example.
A pet peeve of mine is one I never tell people, and most medical people don't because I don't even care. I never tell people that I'm in the medical profession. I don't ever tell people I'm a nurse. But if you gonna throw something out there as if it's golden, and I'm like, no, that ain't true. That's not true. And because you can't just be preaching to people like you're gonna tell him about how alcoholism is and how it does and how you should go about. How you gonna tell this man he lived it? Have you ever lived that? Like that is not a true statement. So people do have a hard time with us because it's like, no, that's
yeah,
not how
because
it
I
is.
think that can get somebody hurt, and I don't mean physically hurt as
No,
far as
you're
fighting. I
right.
mean just
You're
like,
right.
yeah, just like like you said,
Right.
you try to just say, for instance, she wanted to go work out. Then I'm for some odd reason I listen to some personal trainers on TV or
so
on
now
the internet. Now I'm qualified. Now I'm finna tell you.
But you
I'm finna go tell
overweight.
you. First of all, I'm way overweight.
You huffing and puffing.
Yeah, you huffing and puffing. Blood sugar high, blood pressure high. You're right. You know what I'm saying? And then you finna go tell her, hey, yeah, get on this pre-workout.
All you gotta do is push away from the table. Is that so? Did it work for you?
You gotta have blood pressure. You finna tell somebody go get on some pre-workout? You're not qualified.
Your table must sit close to your belly then, because you ain't pulling away at all.
Yeah, you eat 6 times a day. Huh? Man, this person got diabetes. They don't produce enough insulin.
What I will say is it's really difficult to eat healthy, like true healthy. It's really difficult because food is expensive. Food is expensive, period. Yeah. But it's really hard. So what I would tell people, they want to eat better and lose weight. So to circle back with addiction, like mental addiction.
Yeah, but hold on, because something bothers me. Not for real. Something bothers me.
You finna give me some money? What's bothering you?
Why is that pillar right here?
Because
I keep seeing.
So I resting my hand on stuff.
Oh, that's what it is. No, I'm just wondering. No, for real, I was wondering, why is the pillar right there?
Because I like resting my hand. So even if I'm sitting down, so this is that mental stuff that you have to deal with.
Is it a safe place for you? Is it it's a safe place?
Yes.
Do you feel safe?
Yes.
You do?
Not safe, I feel comfort.
So that's what the addicts, they gotta kind of
be comfortable.
They gotta have a safe place too.
Yeah.
So like you said, I feel like you.
I feel comfortable.
Say for you.
I don't feel comfortable in a situation, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, so I feel safe around my sister because I know it ain't no judge in there. She'll be honest with me. I can be honest with her. I can walk away. We can have a disagreement. I don't hate her. She don't hate me. We just had a disagreement.
He's told me plenty of times, like, you should have probably been quiet from that point.
Yeah, just the conversation went on too long. And she, you right.
And he is right. He's right. But I knew in that moment, like,
no,
I'm going. I'm going to continue going.
But see, somebody else would have been, man, that's right. You ain't going. You should have.
But he did tell me, and I didn't have to agree to disagree. It was just like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just like, yeah. And I done had conversations with her where I can see it's kind of getting there. And I'm like, I'm just disagreeing with you. But at the same time, back to that, I'm acting silly about the pillar. But
it is.
You gotta have a safe. People gotta find a safe place. You have to
safe people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a safe place, meaning like a safe
that's
place.
Really hard too.
So that's part of your support system. So when I said support system, I was like, that's included in
and we do
safe
ask
place.
People, do you have a good support person? And this could be a sober coach, or somebody close to you that you can call and they can talk to you. Now, so this is another thing, and I will say, your sober coach cannot be a recovering person who still uses. That is not.
No, I don't even want to talk to you.
But
not if you my coach now.
That's what I'm saying.
Now if I want to talk and relate or something like that, you can kind of. But not my coach though.
Yeah, but
not my coach.
I've had several patients, and I'm like, and so I would say it very nicely, like, we got to find you somebody else, because just because that person has 15 years of recovery and they only drink occasionally, they cannot be giving you advice. That is not good, you know, because how are you going to deter me from going out? I'm calling you to stop me from going out and buying this gallon of vodka or whatever it is, and you yourself dibble and dabble. So you can, it's almost like that manipulation. Like, I know the right things to say because I've lived it, done it, and I'm not an alcoholic no more. And it's like, that's a really but that's all they have, because people either maybe burn bridges, they might be older, their parents are gone or whatever, kids don't fool with them, their kids too young to be helpful, and so that's all they got. And so, but there are other people who out there, so it could be a stranger, it could be him, it doesn't matter who it is, it just, that gets to be really tricky. And
so we be universe people, right? As far as what you put out, the universe will give back to you.
Yes.
Am I talking for you, or you mean that?
No, I do mean that.
So I feel like that if you really are trying, whatever you do,
you feel like internally that if you energy is gonna, like, somebody else show
if you start putting forth the action and start having those beliefs in your head, then I feel like the door, when they say doors start opening up, or seek you'll find, stuff like that, that's really like whatever energy you putting out and you want this, I feel like the universe in return will
Have you
start.
had moments like that?
Oh, without a doubt. I
No,
mean,
for real.
no.
When you were in need. So now in that moment, I
Listen,
was the
the
person that kind of
universe
helped you.
puts out whatever. If I want to be wherever, if it's the underworld, the free world, I'm just saying whatever you put out. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like it just gonna come back.
So even your thoughts, are you saying your thoughts, internal
My
thoughts,
for real thoughts,
is gonna push that?
not
like,
these. Oh, you trying to think something.
Yeah,
I'm talking about on some.
You're
You
in.
meditating. You're being intentional on. This is what I want to do.
Do you feel like you got? Do you feel like that person? Because what if somebody don't even know what meditation means? Do you feel like they have
Not
to kind
even
of
meditation necessarily,
Just
but
a
just sitting
thought.
with yourself.
Just a thought.
Yeah, just a thought. Because that's what I said. Like the district turn. Then that's another thing. Like turn your TV off. You know, just
It's too quiet,
it can be.
and it gets too loud in their head.
It can be. But sometimes, well, okay, we'll do this then. Get as less distractions as possible. Get as less distractions as possible, and start really just really going in your head. And these
Journaling helps too.
journaling can help too, but these thoughts will start popping in your head or ideas. We just say ideas. Your creative self will start coming out, and then be like, oh, okay, well, if I wanna, I don't want to drink or I don't want to do drugs. If I just take a walk around the park or something. You know, you might just be sitting there. I'm just saying. I'm
So
hypothetical. I'm making a long story short, but I'm just saying.
Do you feel like in your personal walk?
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like in those moments that you had clarity type moments or thoughts pop in your head, like with whatever it is, from the time you walked out of there, and say you went to the gym or you had a walk or just sat on your couch? Do you think those thoughts came to you?
Oh, without a doubt, they was coming to me anyway. I just wasn't acting on them because I was letting my
They were
addiction.
numb.
I was letting my addiction stop me from doing it. Because sometimes you don't do it because you fear, or man, what they gonna think? Because I'm doing this or this. I even had people coming to me, hey man, come help me, you know, mentor kids or come help me do the church thing. I mean, I always had like outlets, but I chose. That's what I said. It's a choice. I chose not to do those things because first of all, like you said, a coach trying to tell somebody to not drink, but they kind of did.
They go out every night.
I'm one of those people. I don't play games, so if
That's
I'm
dangerous to me.
Me too. I don't do the hypocrisy stuff. So some people, well, no, you can do this and this. No, I'm one of those. I'm gonna stay away from all of that.
And I'm not gonna give
You're
you
not
advice.
finna be seeing me talk to a crowd of kids and then later on they at Kroger's or something.
It's like, don't sell drugs, kids. Don't do drugs.
Is that head over getting a fifth from the liquor store? I mean, that's damaging.
It's like, darn.
Oh, if he's popular and can do it, and he's got it going on, and why can't he? You know,
and it is a hard that why can't he or she?
Why can't I?
It's imposter syndrome.
That's why I would never be up under a mentor, a pastor, or anybody who like having affairs and stuff because
why?
Not well.
Let's listen to the message, not the man, right? That's what we were.
Because I'm real impressionable. I'm real impressionable. So not now because I've got my own truth. Not now. I have my own.
So
truth.
you're saying,
but when I'm younger and I'm impressionable, man, like this dude got it going on. He drive a nice car.
Pastor Ed doing it.
Man, listen. It's a culture thing. I'm just
saying.
saying.
You think that's just a part? We saying.
I'm saying like when you're in the streets and you get dope on you.
So that's a culture.
You got a gun. You sagging your pants. The religion
culture.
I'm saying everything has a culture. Everything has a culture. So I'm one of those people that I can be impressionable. So if I'm riding in the car, the dude got 3-4 beds. He living in a big, nice house. You know, he got because people gonna come to you because they're addicted to power too. So the people who want that, you know, he's anointed. You know what I'm saying? Because he might be anointed, but if he uses that whatever that is, for other things other than to push his message or the king, whatever it is, now I'm riding around, got 3-4 women. They bad too. My wife bad. She's accepting it. Yeah. Now I'm up under.
Your wife is accepting it too. You think they going when they know it? It's just the status of being.
It's tolerated and accepted, kind of the same thing.
No.
Okay, well we'll say tolerated then. Whatever it is.
Tolerated because I want to stay in this very beautiful house and ride in all these cars with a driver.
But I'm miserable anyway. So I'm just saying that me coming up and I'm looking at that
kind of thing.
And I'm looking at like that's what I want.
And I want that too.
I want that life, man.
So I would be lying. So I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and they were like, he said he was afraid, and they grew up kind of like how we grew up. kind of big family, and he's a business person. He's like, and he's had a business like a medical like healthcare business for like 12 years, and he's successful in his own right.
Mhm.
And he was like, I don't want to be like, he's like, I'm rich, family rich, my wife, my kids, da da da. But in terms of like monetary rich, he was like, nah, I do well. He's like, but I don't want to get so big. And I said, why? I do.
Right.
I said, because money doesn't, he's like, money scares him for various reasons. We had this whole conversation. And I was like, but money don't scare me because I know, and we both agreed that the more you give, the more you receive. And that's used a lot against people, but in a sense that I really feel that way. The more you do give out to people in the universe, it will come back tenfold. So no, I'm not afraid of money. And so when you have, and this is like getting off the subject a little bit, but when you have a lot, and like you talking about pastors, and they got a personal driver, and so that's like, well, why I can because I've been blessed, and that's true. You have been blessed, so I'm not knocking you for that, but I do have a problem with some of that because you're a representative of the word, and then everybody's listening to you, but I'm like sitting in the projects, but you living good out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm not afraid of money. So if
me neither.
So, but he had his own reasons as to why he was.
Yeah, for sure.
And so he didn't want to get to be astronomically rich because he was afraid of certain things.
I got it.
Because he said, I don't want to be in a position where I might have a driver, or because of he thinks that he would just be kind of fall short.
Some people get to that. They think they're above the
and
law,
and
not necessarily.
They lose their sense of self. And so
I could see that.
I can't say that I would because I can't.
Because Michael Jackson did something scary to me one time. I was looking at it.
Yeah,
you know exactly.
That Barbara Walters, and everybody knows that interview.
Man, listen. It wasn't checking no prices or nothing. And I was like,
what you mean prices? You got an ass, you can't afford it, boo.
And then that store.
And Barbara Walters,
he was like, give me two. He was like, give me two of them. And
walk in. You want anything, Barbara?
Man, I'm talking about this. It scared me. I was like,
I was like, man, but
because if you get,
but people live like that.
I know. So just imagine that. See, this is what's so scary though. So now just imagine that you like on that. Not saying Michael Jackson, but just you on that level and you're not happy
because he wasn't.
So now,
whatever that was.
So what do you do to feel that void of happiness instead of because he was doing stuff for people? So now Because I don't really know him and his family dynamic personally. We just know of what was told through from Jackson 5 on up until his death. But whatever that was in him, that when he sat by himself, he wasn't happy. He didn't get to be a kid. But us on the outside looking in don't get that kind of financial
But you hear people all the same time. Like you might see a Joe Rogan or all like motivational, like big people who have a lot of money, and they say, man, money ain't going to make you happy.
And I believe them.
Of course you do.
Wasn't it? Karis once said something that was real, like profound to me, for real, and it stuck with me. He was like, when you become like so heightened in spirituality, I'm using my terms, but it was pretty much what he said.
Enlightened.
Yeah, we'll say enlightened, but he was just talking about when you become so high. He said it ain't about what you can do with, it's what can you do without. Basically, like if they stripped you from all that stuff. Could you still be that same spiritual being?
It's just like if you, so like that guy, that Rich Dad Poor Dad, he's like, and freaking Dave Ramsey, like, financial people, because they're true entrepreneurs, business people, they have won millions and then they lost it all. Won again, lost it all, and it's like, because they were still learning and because they were just, I want that, probably I want that, just living, and then they lose it all. And I'm sure that they lost themselves along the way because they might have suffered.
That make you sick.
Yeah, because it's like, man, I gotta go move back to the 2-story house, and I was used to living in a 200, bedroom house.
Right, you said 2-story house.
Right, and now I'm like 200, like so
right.
Yeah,
when you got one bathroom,
right,
and you get man, I never move in a house without a garage and at least one. What, 2 bathrooms?
Yeah, and you see, and so am I knocking people for having money? No. Am I afraid of it? No, but I understand what he meant. Because he said, I don't want to ever lose that sense of self. That I just think that this is all, man, peons down here.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying as far as like when you're impressionable. Mm-hmm. So now I'm the type of person that if you telling me.
So you're going to go do what they do to get to that
that's
level.
What you getting to.
And that's how I
like when Kobe Bryant said he studied Michael Jordan and he got a lot of results that Michael Jordan got. I'm one of those people too. If that's what I want, I'm
So
gonna
is
get
that a
around
bad
people.
thing? So you're getting around
What
people.
I'm saying now, that was going back to that preacher story.
Right, correct.
I just use the preacher as an example.
But no, that's a good point.
But I'm just
though.
saying, like, if I'm like a whoremonger, if I'm a whoremonger, yeah, and I'm running around here and I got all these fancy cars and all this stuff, and I'm like, I want that.
Man,
So now I finally work my way up to getting
but
under a
you
person
with those
like.
people before.
Yeah, I know.
So
I have.
do they have you ever asked them like what makes it right in their head? Like what makes it right?
Oh yeah, you know you can find a scripture to make anything right,
and that's scary.
I mean, you can find you can justify anything that you do if you want to justify it. You can justify anything that you do. I'm talking about whether it is morally right or morally wrong. If you want to justify it, you can.
You don't talk to yourself on the couch and just find the why.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not that dude. That's what I said. Even though the universe, I felt like was still giving me stuff because of who I may be supposed to be, and I'm being a short version there. The universe was actually still throwing stuff out there to me, and it was like, Ed, you gotta. But me personally, I wasn't ready to take that job. I mean, like I said, on the outside looking in, I was doing all right, but
yeah, but you was just existing, right?
Yes, and I didn't, people coming to me. So yes, to answer your question, I'm saying I know we got here, but to come back to the question was yes. If those people listen to their thoughts and then start acting on those thoughts, first of all, they'll feel better as a person because when you stop procrastinating, you get a sense of self and you get that anxiety and stuff will start kind of going away because you start acting on it and then you start feeling more fulfilled. And then it's a weird thing that happened of the universe.
So what's that word that
the law of attraction is what I'm saying. Like if you have the law of attraction, like it will start, but you got to be in tune.
They're like, well, I've been thinking it ain't happening.
Man, look, I was thinking about that the other day. That's crazy, man. This dude just approached me. He didn't even know me. Like, or you was talking,
but you had to put an action to those thoughts.
Now you got
where people misunderstand the law
the
of attraction.
faith of works with. What does it say? Faith without works is dead. So if you put
the faith of a mustard seed and all that.
Yeah, if I'm sitting up on that couch that I really get sentimental, and I'm not going out and just putting forth effort, ain't nothing coming to me but thoughts. So I want to get a good
job, but I'm not going to look for a job either. I'm not applying. That's the
I want to be an
entrepreneur.
I want to be what Auntie Valerie is. I want to be a nurse practitioner where I can write prescriptions. I want to do this and I want to do that. Okay, so well, you 20 years old. Have you got in school yet?
Because I'll say that you can't. I'll just use myself. If somebody was like, I want to do what you do, okay, well, you got to go to college, and then you got to go to graduate school, and it's going to be a lot of nights, days, weekends, holidays that you ain't going to want. You can't be around your family because you got to study. Man, I take my backpack with me everywhere. If I don't have my backpack, then
that laptop is everywhere. We having a family or something. She over in the cut. Oh yeah, something.
Yeah.
I don't know how she can concentrate and function like that.
I wanna be
great.
And just go back to
Valerie's a beast.
Want to be great? I am great.
If you great, I apologize.
You got that right.
Look.
That's that self,
No, you got to talk to yourself.
If nobody I love Deion Sanders.
Me too. That's my
guy. If nobody,
guy.
who cares? Like, you think your thoughts of me are gonna change me? Like, you shouldn't want to go back and get a second. I had plenty of family. Yeah.
Hold on, I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm finna in that conversation with you real quick. Matter of fact, I won't even tell you none of my dreams ever again.
Yeah.
Because you not finna put no fear in my head.
Why? So I really don't have to have a why and justify it to you. My why is my why. And so to say even if I say, well, I can't practice psychiatry without having this degree, people might say, well, darn, it's going to cost more money. What? Yeah, I know that.
She going to get it.
I know that.
She already done thought it out.
Because I've already saw myself walking across that stage getting it. So you really can't deter me from doing anything else.
Okay, that was good that you just said that. I'm glad you said that.
I know that was good.
So, so you said you already envisioned yourself walking across the stage.
Because you always used to joke with me, asking me, why do you do what you do, or why do you keep going? I'm like, I don't have a choice.
Because that wasn't even me being nosy.
No, that was a real statement. That was a real answer.
No, people like me, I study that. Like the people who.
What you mean you don't know why? I don't know why. I just have to do it.
Because when you see people, especially people you love and care about, and they don't have that drive and determination, I can only speak for why I got it.
Yeah.
So now I need to know what make you like that. Like, why are you like that? Because now you might give me a different
So
answer
like
or a
if
different point
Kylie
of view.
asked me, like your daughter, who's what? How old is she?
She 9.
So she's 9, and like he said, now
This little
her
girl is
birthday.
her. This little girl is hers.
Her
They look
birthday is 2
alike.
days.
They act alike.
Yeah,
I
it's a
just
Gemini thing. Is that
yeah, she's like really like
she's quiet.
she
and
doing her
observant.
thing. She doing her
But
thing.
it's
She's a
funny.
young Valerie for real. And
And
I
it-
hope that she keep
yeah,
growing
of
into
course
that. I hope
she
she be
is.
a better Valerie, but
Absolutely.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's what we own.
Yeah.
See, we
'Cause
on
I want my
that.
daughter-
We on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We here. Kids here. They
Yeah.
kids here. Like everybody need to grow
So
and
if she
improve.
said,
on.
"I want to be, I want to do what you do one day," guess
Man.
what I want to do? I'm gonna take her to work with me, and she might only stay a couple hours because that's 12 hours is a long day. But I'm gonna let her know what I do. I'm gonna let her listen to somebody's heart. I'm gonna let her look into somebody's ears.
Oh man, she'll go
Because
crazy
why?
about that.
Because I need her to know and put her hands on what she can do. This is not outside of her. Like, and that's what people in addiction that they have
Good,
to have
right.
somebody just to take them by the hand, or the little kid in the
Expose
projects
them.
who get his hair cut by
Expose
him.
her.
He takes them to Dave and Buster's or the
Yeah,
water
let's go
park.
to a Tyson game or
And
let's
it's
go
like,
to the water
whoa,
park
man,
or something.
like I got to shakes. I was like there on the football field. I can play football too. Like, don't ride home with the sports kind of thing because you always need a backup to a backup. But if that's all you want to do, I would not deter. Well, medical school is long. Well, my daughter wants to be a doctor. She's 16. Yeah, medical school is on, but guess what? I don't need you to always say that.
Yeah, we can't move on fear around here.
Yeah,
we're not gonna
medical
move
school.
on fear
So
and
this is
stuff.
what I used to do when you used to say like, "Why do you do what you do?" I'm like, I don't know, I just do. So when I started this program, I was already tired from my previous program, but I never looked at the end. Like, man, it's gonna be a whole year, like a whole year long program. I never looked at it like that because if I did, I would get a little bit discouraged.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, a year, I just was like, I'll be done next June, and that's pretty much it. But I didn't harp on I'll be done next June. I just have to do my homework and get week by week, day by day because I still work.
Yeah, you setting like
Yeah.
short-term goals
Yeah,
and
because if
long-term
I
goals.
looked at the end, I know the end result. The end result is me graduating and then eventually take boards and practice. But if I just harp on that, so to go back to that point, I saw myself already. You can't deter me because I already saw myself.
That spirit. You
So
said
you saying that spirit?
Yeah, because there's everything.
Oh, it's about to get good now. Let me
Everything
get
that
my-
happens everything that happens in the spiritual realm, that's where it happens at first.
in internal spirit. So
Yes,
you're
because that's where
saying-
your spirit exists inside.
So you're saying before my
Before
physical or
anybody.
unconscious, subconscious knew.
so
that I was gonna.
no, what I'm saying is it comes with spiritual or thought. Well, let's just say thought there for the
Okay.
people who don't want to
Okay.
say spirit.
Okay.
You're not gonna be what you are now without the thought.
Okay.
The
Right.
thought has to come first.
And then the action.
Then the action.
Yeah.
Action can't come first because you don't know what to act on.
Right.
So a lot of time when people just going through life just existing.
You saying
Like-
they don't know what actions to take to not exist or coexist. Like you gotta
It
be.
depends. Like you got to be intentional.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Even with the addiction and all that,
Like you
you
don't
have
never
to.
come to the family events. You right because I got to do schoolwork. Because guess what? If I don't do this
Yeah,
paper,
it's sacrifice. You sacrificed and you put discipline
Yeah.
and sacrifice
I'm gonna see
together.
y'all in a year.
So that went back to the person who I was saying, like, addiction, whether you eating a lot and you're overweight, okay, you gotta see yourself. You gotta see yourself smaller.
Yeah.
Because if you don't see yourself smaller, you ain't gonna finish. So setting the small goals.
Yeah,
like,
so I tell people
let me
don't
to
go out and buy a gym membership. Like if you can't really afford it, I was like, because so this goes back. So this can be used for if people suffering from, food addiction.
Yeah, I'm
drug
talking about addiction in general.
So this is what I tell people, and we talked about it before because people always kind of write me off and laugh a little bit until I start connecting those dots and I have a straight face because I'm being serious.
Yeah, for sure.
So I say, and then when they hear drug addiction, I'm like, you're addicted to food. You wouldn't be sitting in front of me asking about weight loss medication if you wasn't.
Right.
You wouldn't have high blood pressure, cholesterol, or pre-diabetic if you wasn't overweight. So you're not overweight because you're breathing air. You're overweight because you're eating too much. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you because
Right.
I know I can stand to lose, X amount of pounds. So, and I like sweets. So I always use myself because I don't know what that person eats. And they're like, well, I really don't eat a lot. And I'm like, so that's not the case. because
Right.
you wouldn't be that size.
Without a doubt.
So we're not finna play them games.
You gotta be
either.
honest with yourself.
You can't.
You gotta be honest with
you
yourself.
looking in the mirror.
Do you really want help?
When you got on that scale and you were like, ooh,
But
it ain't because it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon, boo. It's because you weigh that.
They come. That's why I said they want a miracle drug.
And they do. So I always, and good point, because all the weight loss kind of drugs they have out now, some people use it as a tool, just like you should use it as a tool. But some people, a lot of people use it as a crutch. They use it as a crutch because I take this shot or this whatever, and I eat less because the drug is going to make me eat less, right? So I feel full. So I can still eat all the bad things. I don't develop good habits. So this is why I tell people when I worked in surgery. So the
mindset hasn't changed.
So this is why I tell people when I worked in surgery with bariatric surgeons, I said, you ever wonder why they made people go to counseling before they had their weight loss surgery? I said, because you still have to be okay with how you look in the mirror in your mind too, because you can lose 100+ pounds. But if you still got those same thoughts about that fat kid being bullied about their weight, and you don't have good practices, you might not be able to gain that 100 pounds back because I cut out a portion of your stomach, but you are still going to struggle mentally because you haven't changed your behaviors.
Yeah. They ain't fought what the core issue is.
So what we used to do, so really for people who are in addiction or whatever, that we do what we call like cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT. And there's other people, there's trauma therapy. So some people had other types of therapies, but let's just say, elementary generic terms, everybody's going to get cognitive behavioral therapy. So what that is a part of motivational interviewing. It's changing your behavior and it's changing your mindset. So it's like you have to develop healthy habits. So you have to learn the why behind you. Like, so this is why am I eating all them Oreos?
So they have these programs, right?
No, this is a part of if they are in a traditional type of, you can go to a therapist and get this kind of therapy outside of, you don't have to be like in rehab to get that therapy. So there's all types of therapies. So
me having help and you having help, I'm just thinking right now. Why do people think that America is some kind of systematic thing when they trying to kill us?
What do you mean?
It's some kind of plot that they trying to kill us in America or something. Like they trying to wipe us out because the population getting too big. But actually, I mean, it's slick, some tricks to make money. But actually, it's tricks out there if you have fell for the trap or whatever to help you get out of the trap. But meaning like what you're talking about, like all this, you TP, you damn and eat little letter. Yeah. So what I'm saying, and I was able to go to a place. Because
they're there, you just gotta know.
You gotta know the resources. So what I'm saying is, it is resources out here that if you want to get better in America,
free resources, free hotlines. If you ain't got,
so we talked about earlier. So even if Noriega, they use Noriega to bring a whole bunch of drugs into America,
because that was the thing.
Yeah, they gotta. I mean, I understand, I do, but I'm just saying, like, but they have ways to get you out of that.
Just like they have ways to get, just like cigarettes. So did I tell you about cigarettes, right? The pack. There's a reason why there's a number of cigarettes in a pack. There's a reason why when you get down to that last little bit of cigarette, you already want another one. Because the people who, let's say the chemists or whatever, developed nicotine in cigarettes, they designed it intentionally so that by the time you get done with that one, you're ready for another one. So that
talking about the number in the pack?
Yes.
And then even the size of them.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it is
because we have
it's
because
about
to keep
addiction.
You addicted so that you buy them and make me rich.
Okay, so then we're gonna do this. So when they had a McDonald's commercials,
absolutely. I keep putting that thought in your head. Thought. You gonna get it. You gonna keep going to the thought.
It's about trying to make money, right?
It's about making money, but I need you to come to my store and buy my product. So I'm going to keep throwing it in your face until you start coming.
So we need to try to find a way to throw stuff in people's face.
Well, then I just don't watch the news and stuff. So that I don't even know what's going on in the world half the time. But that's okay because I don't
that's that propaganda box.
Yeah.
They call it the food box. That propaganda box.
The food box?
Food, FOOL.
Oh, really? I didn't heard of that. I mean,
the fool box. Yeah, somebody should call it the fool box. But it's slick is. So they're gonna keep us focused on.
So the
football and
yes.
basketball. I'm a basketball fan now, but they're gonna keep us focused on.
Yeah, because they're gonna change the narrative. So let's put this celebrity trial on TV so that you don't know about the kids that's being locked up in cages at the border. I'm just saying, for example, you see what I'm saying? Not, it might not have been happening at the same time,
or some little slick laws being passed,
yeah,
or
some abortion laws or whatever. Like we need to keep showing that mess. Because back here we about to sign these papers and it's about to change the game.
So it is a melting pot there. Wherever route you want to go.
Yeah.
If you want to go the addiction route, we got you.
Yeah.
If you want to go you don't want to be addicted, I got you. Mm-hmm. If you want to motivate people and help them become better spiritual beings, I got you. So I really.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, and I say system because it's like a soapbox. I feel like, and I'll just say this is my personal opinion. I feel like health insurance companies, first of all, they're like billion, trillion-dollar corporations, just like prison systems and things like that. Right. It's not designed for you to be healthy because most of the time, I'll just use those weight loss shots. I won't say like the names, but most insurance companies won't pay for it unless you have a diabetes diagnosis.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
that's horrible. So you'd rather me go to the doctor all the time for my high cholesterol, my high blood pressure, my pre-diabetes and just be suffering and get on this big brown bag of pills when you could just pay for this shot, me lose weight. And then I won't cost you and the healthcare companies a bunch of money, which means my job don't have to pay out a bunch of money for the group's health insurance, which means I might could get paid more. I tell people, you see that trickle down?
I mean, even the shot is a money maker, right?
Of course it is.
People just not even talk, because they know how to eat right.
Some people do, some people don't.
If they were just taught to eat right,
yes,
it could cure a lot of that stuff anyway.
Because
I don't need to be on this, and I don't need to be on that. True. I don't need to take that.
Because guess what? You've heard your mom say, being that you were a barber for so long, they say healthy food or healthy eating is expensive, and it is. So it's cheaper for me to get a pack of ramen noodles because, man, that used to cost $1 back in the day, and that's 10 packs of noodles. You know what I'm saying? Or the big bag.
You can eat healthy for cheap.
Can you?
Yes.
How
healthier for cheap.
Healthier
for cheap.
Yeah.
But you gonna get tired of eating the same stuff.
Yeah.
I can go buy a head of lettuce for $1.
That's what Ari was saying, like turkey meat,
right?
Lettuce.
But I can go buy a head of lettuce. My
16-year-old is like, Uncle Ed only got turkey meat, water, lettuce.
Oh, people come on my house,
I can see the back of his refrigerator.
If people come on my, I gotta go shop.
Like, like 4th of July is like, man, I'm gonna have to bring the spices and condiments. Like,
man, listen, you should see how my refrigerator look now.
Cause I left
that mug. I'm talking about every tray loaded.
Yeah, cause I was like,
because you really brought some other condiments over anyway. The last time.
Oh, so I didn't know that I had.
Nah, bring them on.
Oh,
nah, come on, you bring them.
Mustard's healthy for you. Pickles are healthy too. They crunchy.
I had soda. I don't know.
I don't know if they're not. I don't know, but you could look. But mustard over ketchup.
No, mustard.
Mayonnaise.
No. Mustard the better. Yeah, ketchup has a little sugar in it, but
nah. A little. It's a lot depending on how much. Depending on
And
then mayonnaise has a lot of fat. Like
mayonnaise. Yeah. Some people do the carnivore diet and they eat the mayonnaise and stuff. But I mean, yeah. But all of this is to say, like, we were just kind of acting silly. But all this is to say, as far as addiction goes, like. It's places out there that can get you help, but at the same time, you have to want that for yourself.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, as far as we use different examples, as far as like if you're big and you want to lose weight, you gotta have goals. She graduated. She's seeing herself walking across the street. Like
I saw it before it happened.
You have to see a better version of yourself
in those jeans that you hadn't worn in 5 years.
Yeah.
If you gotta hang set those goals up and be motivating for you, great.
Set goals. If it take you every 5 minutes, you clean. Every 10 minutes, you clean. Every hour, you clean.
That. I said, it ain't a day by day.
No, it can be minute by minute,
second by second.
It can be second by second. Like just set goals. But you gotta make yourself active. But like I said,
what if you
have to want to.
Okay, so I talked to a guy yesterday.
Okay.
5'11", 312 pounds.
Yeah, he big boy.
He was in the military though and wasn't always that big.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, I wasn't always this big.
So I mean, he got on a bunch of. He did some tours in Middle East. Got on suffered from mental illness. Got on a bunch of antidepressants. Probably some medications that are some. I told him yesterday these medications are great, but they they make you gain weight.
Okay.
And so it
Okay.
is just. I said so. That's why you kind of.
How old you say he was?
He's 28.
Okay, so he's a young guy.
Yeah, he's young, but he has a young family. He has 3 girls. The oldest is 11. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Married, and so he doesn't work right now.
Okay.
So he's a veteran. Gets So he's been on, and this is the other thing. He's been on this waiting list, like for like this health. So for this weight loss shot, he's been on a waiting list for 2.5 years, not to get surgery, just so that the insurance, the I guess like military insurance will cover.
So you talked to him?
Yeah, I talked to him like
okay.
A consult.
So what are you asking me?
So for him, he was like, I said, what about working out? Because he was like, I really don't eat. So I really don't eat a whole lot. I said, well, you wouldn't gain if you're not on these medications at all anymore, and it's been a year plus. What's keeping you at your weight? There's no reason. There's no reason you should be at this weight.
I mean, his a lot might not be. His
It was
a lot
food.
might be a lot to somebody else.
So he said sugars are not his thing. He's like he likes the crunchy carbs, salty kind of stuff. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So, but I said, what about working out? Do you walk? Do you? Because he doesn't work. So sedentary lifestyle, you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, he chilling.
Now, granted, yes, he has